Greetings from the Netherlands. I'm Melissa. I'm a housing activist and an organizer in the Netherlands, and have co-initiated one of the biggest housing protests since the 80s. Yeah, depending per city, we have either 30, 40, sometimes 50% of all our housing stock to be public housing, even though the conditions here are, I would say, slightly better than in the States. We're actually having a housing crisis in the Netherlands as well. Homelessness has doubled in the Netherlands in the last 10 years. And because of deregulation of the housing market, houses have become increasingly unaffordable. In the Netherlands, we have a long tradition of affordable and public housing since 1900, where unions organized to make sure that there was enough affordable housing for all people instead of just for the elites. This organization of the labor movements were a huge, historical part of the reason why in the Netherlands now we have this social housing in our DNA. And of course, we had historically different periods of people organizing for even better conditions. So there was a huge tenant strike movement in the 30s and in the 1960s. And then in the 80s, again, there was a new kind of huge organizational movement of the squatters, who then just started to kind of massively squat houses all over the Netherlands, specifically in the big city. The squatter movement in the 80s was also a big threat, which forced the political elite at that time to create and build more affordable housing for all. And since then, it was a bit silent in the Netherlands. The last 30 years, we've been losing a lot of our public housing stock. So since the 80s, there wasn't really a movement, but now we kind of created that movement again in the last 3 years, with a peak about 2 years ago with the biggest housing protest that we organized. And since then, we haven't stopped, and we've continued to organize mainly to make sure that we don't lose more affordable housing and also gain more, but also, issues like gentrification, trying to get rid of racist housing policies, and also trying to create more places for refugees, which is also kind of part of this scarcity issue in the Netherlands, which is also increasing this kind of toxic, xenophobic political climate, where housing has been used as a political tool. So it's really important, I would say, for all housing movements in the world that we really unite. The housing struggle is an international struggle. The financialization of our homes is an international capitalist tendency, and we really need to organize together to make sure that both the working class and people that look a little bit different are still able to have access to affordable housing.